getting set to call now Tennessee at Texas A&M on CBS this weekend, is Verne Lundquist joining me here on the show. How are you, Verne?
I'm doing great, Rich, and congratulations on your second anniversary.
Thank you, Verne. It means a lot for you to join me on any day, certainly on a day like this. How do you continue to get amped up for games after you've called so many of them, but to see moments like Tennessee beat Georgia in 2016 and call it in the same manner that you called any big play throughout your career? How do you do it?
Genes. I've got I've got good genes, I think. No, it's a legit question. Listen, I look back at the years at CBS, but even before that, the number of times I've been so blessed to be at an occasion where something momentous erupts. And then the challenge, and it continues to be a challenge, is to capture it in as succinct a way as you can. And once I knew that ball had been caught, and you believe me, in the jumble of bodies, I wanted to make sure I got the right guy.
Yeah.
And Butch Baird, my spotter, proved his value again and again. He was all over it. I mean, he was punching Butch Baird's number with some emphasis.
Yes.
To make sure I got it right. But I appreciate you asking me. I've been very, very blessed over all these years.
Verne Lundquist joining me here. Let's get to the here and now. Tennessee and 5-0, Texas A&M 5-0. Tell me why fans or I should not view games like this just for people to be set up to be the grist for the Alabama mill when it's all said and done in this conference.
Well, yeah. If you had asked me in September, the first week in September, would we be on our way to College Station, Texas, the second week in October, I would have taken a big wager on that one. Tennessee has been blessed. I mean, they've come from behind double digits in 4 of their 5 wins. They struggled in the one that they didn't come from behind against Ohio University. The Aggies, I think, have been a little more solid and haven't had to have good luck as much as I believe Tennessee. But listen, here's our triumvirate. Now, this will be the 3rd week in a row we've done Tennessee. So the homework is a little easier. Mm-hmm. I've got the guys memorized now. And then next week, we've got Tennessee at Alabama. That we'll find out something then. And the week after that, though it hasn't been announced, I think it's safe to say that we'll be doing A&M at Alabama. So we've got a little round robin going here. And needless to say, we're going to find out a lot about both the Aggies and Tennessee, not only this week, but in the subsequent 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I guess that'll be the latest on the Lane Kiffin revenge tour with although he did leave Tennessee to go to USC, who he took care of business with in Alabama earlier this year. So I guess you'll have to see over the next couple of weeks, but just going into this stretch, how does this Alabama team rank with the ones that you've seen as championship quality in previous years, Verne?
Well, we saw them, Rich, once so far, and that was they struggled at Ole Miss, and they came close to losing at Ole Miss, to Ole Miss, rather, for the 3rd time in a row. He just keeps plugging in replacements. I've never seen anything quite like it. His 3rd teamers are 5-star guys. And, Nick is attributing it all to the process. Well, he's got some process going over there. And, I don't think that they've proven themselves yet. I think they're going to get tested in the next 2 weeks, certainly. I'm not ready to say this team is as good as, pick any of the championship teams that he's gotten.
It's Verne Lundquist joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show in the midst of his final season calling SEC games as the play-by-play voice on CBS. And, so Verne, but you are going to continue calling golf and college hoops for CBS?
Yes, Okay. Sean asked if I'd stay on to do that. This was kind of a perfect time for all of this to come about. Nancy and I, my wife and I, had been talking about it for a couple of years, and Sean and I had been in conversation about when would be a good time. And stars kind of collided on this one. I got this amazing honor back in May in New York when I got this Lifetime Achievement Award for the Sports Emmys. And that was just so appreciated by both Nance and me. And the celebration went on into the night, as you can imagine. By the way, I'm talking to you from 829 in Hartsfield in Atlanta. So there's a lot of jumbled noise in the background.
No, actually, I can't hear a single thing, Vern. So keep going
really?
if you don't mind. Yeah.
Well, maybe my ears are picking up.
No, it's all good.
At this late, at any rate, they wanted to find someone who to take my place, who was familiar and in love with college football, and they found a perfect guy. Brad Nessler was made himself available. Had some issues, I guess, with ESPN. I've never gone into depth about it, but he was available. And I've known Brad for 30 years. I respect him as a broadcaster. He's worked with Gary Danielson before, and that's important. He lives in Atlanta. He's a very, very well-liked person in the SEC. So it just seemed opportune, and Sean and I talked about it and said, and I didn't intend for this to turn into a victory lap at all, but it kind of has, and trust me, I'm so appreciative of that. To be acknowledged at every game we've been in so far. Now we're going back to Aggies for the second time, so there will be no scoreboard tribute.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
There's no swag, none.
It's a swagless visit as you're getting set to fly out to.
Yes, it is, and you know that's appropriate for your second time around.
Well, but you deserve.
It's been just. It's been a very emotional but momentous season so far.
Well, I mean, and it's been emotional for a lot of fans who have been fans of yours. Obviously, Dick Enberg, hung up his microphone on Sunday, the same day as Vin Scully hanging up his microphone.
I talked to Dick about a month ago. But we've become friends over the years, and I said, "You really want to retire the same day as Scully, huh?" That's guaranteed. Paragraph 6 and page 8. But I did love this. I love the fact that on Sunday night, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth paid a tribute to Vin, who is the greatest broadcaster any sport has ever seen. And then they also had a photograph of Dick and Merlin Olsen and paid tribute to his pretty amazing career as well. So I hope Al doesn't decide to go out next year.
No, I don't think so. I think he still has more Sunday and Thursdays under his belt. And by the way,
a surprising number of Thursdays, Rich.
Yes, I know. Well, I'm +1 on what you said about Brad Nessler, Vern, because we worked at the NFL Network with Brad for many years on Thursday Night Football. I love him. He just loves football, and anybody who gets 2 fingers deep after the game like he does, it's always fun hanging with Brad post game.
Oh, you do know him well.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So do I.
And I would be remiss before I let you go, before you fly off to College Station, Vern, to not give you the floor on Arnold Palmer. We had Jim Nance on last week. He said it was the saddest week in the history of golf when Arnold passed away. And I'd love to give you the floor to give us your memories of Arnold Palmer.
The day he died, he died on a Sunday. And on Monday, a week ago, the next day, I just happened to be speaking at a USGA event in Birmingham. It was a team competition. And we had probably 700 in the audience, and they ran a tribute to Arnold. He's the greatest man I've ever known in sports, and one of the greatest men I've ever known. He had a humility about him that was extraordinary. And by the way, Jack Nicklaus, in a different style, though very proud of everything that he's accomplished, Arnold took it a notch higher than anybody I've ever seen. I've never seen him, and I snuck into the Texas Open golf tournament when I was a sophomore in college because the 3 guys I was hanging with, none of us could afford the entry fee. So the statute of limitations is gone now, so I'm safe. But we didn't pay the freight, and we watched Arnold Palmer, first time I ever saw him. and was lucky enough to know him, not as well as Jim did. I mean, he was almost like family to Jim. But I know that in Augusta, we all knew that he was not doing really well. He had withdrawn from the ceremonial shot with Jack and Gary. But Ian Baker Finch and I were leaving the clubhouse and heading back to the compound, and we spotted Arnold and 4 or 5 buddies sitting as he should, having an Arnold Palmer. Mm-hmm. And I said, Ian, let's go over and say hello. And little did we know that we were saying goodbye. That was the last time I saw him. But he had a wink and a thumbs up for both of us, as he did for everybody who ever asked him.
Vern, thanks for the time. Look forward to having you back on again. Have a safe flight. Have a great broadcast.
Okay, Rich. It's always a pleasure. And again, congratulations to all you and the staff.
Thank you, Vern. That means a lot. That's Verne Lundquist here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.